I'm Brian Iler, a lawyer, member of Parks Not Planes, and a longtime observer of the Toronto Island Airport. Contrary to what they'd have you believe, we've discovered that the airport's business has collapsed. And Porter, although it has a near monopoly, has been losing serious money even in the years before COVID. The airport has a history of failed airlines, City Express in the late 90s, Air Ontario in the early 2000s. There are many more. Now Porter, if it can't make it with all of its advantages, no one can. There's no business case for the Island Airport anymore. What do we know? First, Porter's fortunes are entirely entangled with the fortunes of Ports Toronto. In the early 2000s, Ports Toronto opted to invite Porter to start up a brand new airline at the airport and placed all of its eggs in the Porter basket. How'd that work out? Here's what we know. Porter's owners tried to cash in 2010 by selling their shares on the stock market. Because of a delay, which we take some credit for, updated financial statements revealed Porter had incurred losses of $11 million in 2007, $3 million in 2008, $4.6 million in 2009, and $5.9 million in the first 3 months of 2010. By March 31 of that year, Porter had accumulated losses of $44 million. The share sale failed miserably. Then nothing, until recently. Porter sold its airport terminal for a lot of money in 2015, but then refused to pay the new owner the fees that it had told the new owner it could charge. The terminal owner sued and won. More importantly for us, documents that had been confidential were now available to us in the court files. Here's what we found. In letter after letter to that new owner, Porter cried poverty. The fees, Porter said, were 3 times what Pearson charges. It blamed, and this is a quote, increased ridership traction on the Union Pearson Express, reducing its locational advantage at the Island Airport. It blamed its lack of growth on its failure to obtain approval for jets at the airport, while at the same time, Pearson had grown substantially. And it disclosed operational losses, $18.9 million in 2017, $39.6 million in 2018, and $35 million in 2019. That explains why Porter is now expanding its operations at Pearson, as there's no money to be made at the Island Airport. Even with the impressive efforts it has made, maybe there is some at Pearson. If that is so, is Porter already cutting back its use of the Island Airport? We looked at the available information to find out. First, we found that the number of flights out of the airport this year is down from 2022 significantly. Digging deeper and looking at where the decline is coming from, we found that Porter, which at its height at the Island Airport was flying 172 flights a day in and out of the airport, it is cut back by almost half to 91 flights on October 16, a typical day. What does that mean? It's a reasonable conclusion that Porter is in the process of abandoning the Island Airport, seeking its fortune at Pearson. Can the airport survive without Pearson? Before Porter came along, the airport was a notorious money loser. Porter was to be its salvation. Is there another savior in the wings? Porter said in one of those letters, again it's a quote, if it were to leave the airport, there appears to be no viable alternative for the airport. We think Porter's right. If so, it's time to start thinking of other and better uses for that spectacular property, the subject of our next video.